Hey, what's up, guys? Frank here with another video. And today I wanted to make a video to compare should you create your own website as a print on demand seller or not, okay? And so here I'm gonna explain the pros and cons about having your own print on demand website and the pros and cons about the print on demand marketplaces, okay? And so here when I'm talking here about the print on demand marketplaces, I'm mostly talking about Amazon Merch, Redbubble, TeePublic, Spreadshirt, Displate, and marketplaces that you can just upload your designs and there you go, okay? And so in the last days and last week, I've had this reflection, and I'm thinking about creating my own website, and so I'm simply sharing my own thoughts with you. And you might be also thinking about creating your own website, and maybe this video can help you. Okay, and so let's go right in. And so I'm going to talk first of all about creating your own website. Okay. And so the cool thing about creating your own website is that you're able to create your own personal brand. Okay. By creating your own website, you create an asset that you can create on the long term, that over time, if you do it properly and you maintain it, and so basically, you're able to create an asset for yourself that builds value over time. Okay, and so the more you work on it, the more it builds up. Okay, you create your own brand, you create your own personal brand. Okay, so that's the first thing. And the second thing that is a pro for having your own website is that you have full control over your own website, okay? And so since you create your own website, you create your own rules, okay? Because when you're using Amazon Merch or marketplaces or any marketplaces like Amazon Merch or Redbubble, TeePublic, when you upload and you use this website, you have to follow the rules. You have to follow the rules. You have to make sure that, for example, like there are upload limits and you cannot upload like too many designs a day. Okay, so when you have your own website, you have absolutely full control over these things, and that's pretty cool, right? And so basically, you can do anything that you want. Another cool thing about having your own website is that since you're creating something on the longer term, you're able to collect your customers' information and data. And so, with that, you can retarget your customer with maybe their emails or their purchases that they've made on your website. And so, having these data and these information, you're able to create a newsletter, for example, and you're able to create more value to your customer by collecting their data. Okay, and so it allows you to create a better relationship with your audience and with your customer. Okay, and another cool thing about having your own website is that you're basically creating a new stream of income, okay? And so if you're into the print on demand sphere or whatever, you might have a merch Amazon account, for example, that is a stream of income. And if you have a Redbubble account, that's another stream of income. And TeePublic is also another stream of income. But if you're already on these websites, it's yes, you have a bunch of stream of income, but having your own website is basically creating a new stream of income. Another cool thing about having your own website is that you're able to sell anything that you want. Okay, you sell anything that you want, because when you sell on marketplaces like Amazon Merch and Redbubble and TeePublic and all these marketplaces, you basically have a design and you simply put the designs on the product. Okay, and so your products are limited when you use these websites. And so having your own website, you're able to share more resources, you're able to sell more products. And so, for example, if you at some point you want to create a personal course to help people in anything, well, you can create a course and sell it to the people. That's just an example. You can also share certain resources, maybe some PDFs that could be useful to your customer and audience, and you're able to have a wider range of products. You can sell anything that you want. Okay, so those are cool things. Those are cool pros about having your own website. But having your own website also has a bunch of cons. Okay, and one of the biggest cons that you have when uh, creating your own website is that you have to build and maintain the website. Okay, and so since the website does not exist, you have to create it. Okay, and so it requires some sort of technical skills. Okay, you have to know how to build a website, for example. Okay, there are solutions out there that already exist. For example, Shopify and WordPress are very popular solutions to create a website, but you have to know um, how to create a Shopify store. You have to know how to create a WordPress store and how to maintain them. Okay, and so that's something. But like at some point, you have to also take care of your domains. There's also the themes, and at some point, you might need to do some coding, and so that's something that to keep in mind when you have your own website. Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to hire someone that can do that? Okay, and so for my in this case, I know how to build these things and I'm comfortable with website. But if you're watching this, you don't have the technical skills to do that, well, you might need to hire someone. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And another thing that you have to keep in mind if you create your own website is anything related to money. Okay, because if you create your own website, they are going to have some fees, and you're going to need some sort of money to invest to maybe create the website, or just hire someone that is going to do it. And you're going to need money to for a bunch of subscription. Maybe you're going to use a monthly subscription for Shopify. Maybe you're going to uh, have a subscription for WordPress. And there are also transaction fees as well that you have to keep in mind. And there are also applications that you might need to subscribe to in order to have some sort of features on your website. And so if you're going to create your own website, you have to make sure that you have money to invest. Okay, there's an upfront cost for creating your own website. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, and another con that you have when you create your own website is that you have to bring your own traffic. Okay, you have to bring your own traffic, because if you just create a website but nobody knows about it, well, like, your website is pretty much useless. Okay, and so when you have your own website, the biggest challenge is to bring people to your website. Okay, and usually there are two ways to do that. Okay, and so the first way is on the short term is to create advertising, and you pay ads to bring people to your website. Okay, and so I think this is a short-term solution to pay people to come to your website. So that's an option. And the second option is more long-term and is harder, and it is simply to uh, build an audience. Okay, you want to build an audience, you want to build a relationship with people, and on the long term you grow your audience and you grow your customer base, and they come back over time. Okay, so you have to build those things. You have to bring traffic to your website. And another con that there is when you create your own website is that you have to build trust. Okay, you have to build trust, because when you have your own website, well, nobody knows you, like it's a random new website. Well, nobody knows you, why should they buy from you? Okay, and so when you have your own website, you're basically competing against brands like Amazon, and you're competing against Redbubble and all of these other marketplaces. And it's basically your brand against their brand, the other brands. Okay, and so basically you have to make sure that your own brand that you're creating and your own website has something in particular that maybe Amazon doesn't have. Okay, and so you have to make sure that you build trust and that you create a brand that is unique. But over time, that trust, yes, you have to build it, but over time, that trust becomes an asset. Another thing that you have to keep in mind if you create your own website is that you have to do the customer service. You have to manage and you have to do the customer service for your website, okay? And that's basically anything related to customer service. And so, for example, like if someone has problem with purchasing a certain product on your website, well, you have to make sure that you're able to solve the problem. And if there's a problem with a refund, then you can refund the customer. Okay, and so that's just an example, but you're going to need to deal with people and the customer. And now I'm going to talk about the print on demand marketplaces. Okay, and the first pro that there is for the marketplaces is that there's already an audience. Okay, and so for example, Amazon merch is, everybody know about Amazon. Okay, and so when you sell, for example, on Amazon merch, everything that you're selling on Amazon merch, all the products are basically on Amazon, and Amazon is filled with people. There's already tons of customers on Amazon. And so the cool thing about POD marketplaces is that there's already an audience. And so the moment you upload something on the marketplace, you can make money right away. Okay. And so you can start making money right away because there's already a bunch of people uh, using the website. Okay. Another cool thing about the print on demand marketplaces is that it's easy to maintain. Okay. And so usually shops that you create in marketplaces, for example, Redbubble and TeePublic, and I'm not quite sure about Amazon merch, but usually like it's very easy to maintain a profile and an account. And so basically all that you have to do is make sure that you have some sort of profile picture and that you have some sort of maybe some description or whatever. And that's basically anything that you have to maintain. Okay, there's really nothing to maintain when you have a POD shop, shop in a marketplace. Okay, and so you just create an account and you basically start uploading design right away. Okay, it's really easy. There's no really maintenance. You don't have to really build anything. You simply upload and there you go. Okay, and so it's really simple. And another cool thing about print on demand marketplaces is that the trust is already there. Okay, and so people trust the marketplace. People trust the marketplace. And so people go on Amazon because they trust Amazon. Okay, and so these marketplaces are already established. Okay, and so because they're already established, the people that buy the products, they trust the platform. And so because they trust the platform, you can easily sell on these platforms. And another thing about the POD marketplaces is, again, it's easy to maintain, but you don't have to deal with any technical skills. Okay, like there's no technical skills required, again, like when you have your own website, you have to manage the store, you have to manage the coding, the domains, and all of these things. Well, when you have a marketplace, you can simply start uploading right away, and like you don't really need any skills to do that, okay? And so it's easy to maintain, it's easy to create, and you don't have to deal with the coding. Right now, let's talk about the cons of print on demand marketplaces, okay? And the first thing that I want to talk about is that there's no branding, okay? And so when you have, it's not that there's no branding, but it's way more limited, okay? And so, for example, when a customer find your design on Redbubble, they are looking at the design, they're looking at the product, and they're not really looking at your profile. And because of that, you're not really creating a relationship with the customer, okay? And and that's why having your own website becomes an advantage, because when people buy from your website and they use your website, you're able to create a relationship with the customer. But with the print on demand marketplaces, most of the time the customer, they just want to buy the product, they just want to buy the thing, and then that's it, that's all. You don't really interact with the customer, because the customer is going to interact with the marketplace and not you, okay? And so you can't really build relationship, you can't really build um, a brand around the POD marketplaces. And I mean, yes, sometimes on some of these marketplaces, you can put your social links, you can put a bunch of things, but most of the time, the customer are not really looking at these things. Okay, most of the time, the customer is simply going to buy the product, and that's it. That's all. There's nothing else. Okay, and so there's no branding, and you cannot really build a brand. Okay, and another con about the marketplaces is that there's a lot of competition. Okay, the competition. For example, when you sell competition, for example, when you sell on Amazon merch, your competition is basically all the other sellers. Okay, you're competing against all the other sellers, and on Amazon, like there's tons of listings on Amazon, and so your listing that you're just creating, you're creating your listings against so many listings, okay? And so there's a lot there's a lot of competition, and it's the same thing on Redbubble. Your little design that you're creating, well, you're in competition with all the other sellers and all the other designs, okay? And so if you're creating a design, you have to make sure that it stands out. But that's the problem. There's a lot of competition, okay? Another con about print on demand marketplaces is everything related to the rules and the terms of service, okay? And so when you use the marketplaces, the POD marketplaces, you have to make sure to follow the rules and the terms of service, okay? It depends on each website, okay? For example, Amazon Merch do things differently than Redbubble, and Etsy do things differently than Amazon. Okay, and so every marketplaces have their own rules and terms of service, and you have to really care, and you have to read these things. You have to take into consideration all these things. Okay, and so for example, if you upload a design that has some kind of trademark or copyright, well, your account might get banned at any moment. Okay, and so it actually happened to me on some of these marketplaces. At some point, you basically can lose your account at any moment because you might infringe some kind of rule, and because you infringe that rule that you don't really know because you didn't learn about it or whatever, then you might lose your account. Okay, and so you have to make sure to acknowledge these rules and follow these rules. Okay, because if you don't, you might get rejected or you might get suspended, and so that's really important to know. And another con about print-on-demand marketplaces is that you don't have access to the customer data. Okay, that's pretty much the same thing as no branding, but the thing is that, as I said before, since the people that are buying your product on the marketplaces, they're not looking for your personal brand, but they're simply looking at design and they're looking at the product, and then that's it, that's all, okay? And so that's a problem because you're not able to create the relationship with the customer. You don't have, for example, it's email, you cannot retarget the customer, and you cannot bring the customer back to make another purchase. Okay, and so there's nothing. There's only the sale, and you get the money, and that's it. That's all. And so there's no customer data. And so that's pretty much it for my pros and cons about print-on-demand marketplaces and having your own website. And I hope that this video was helpful to you. And as a conclusion, I think that anybody that is serious about print on demand on the long term should think about creating their own website, okay? Because having your own website allows you to create your own brand, okay? Just like Redbubble is a brand, well, and also Amazon is also another brand. Having your own website allows you to create your own brand, okay? And creating your own brand is way harder, but on the long term, it has it has multiple benefits, okay? Creating a brand on the long term with trust and creating relationship with your customers is an asset that you can create on the long term, okay? And so it's up to you to decide if you want to get into this or not, okay? And so I've been thinking about this in the last weeks and months because these days I'm pretty worried about losing my account, okay? And so a few months ago, I lost a few of my print on demand marketplace accounts. And I'm always, right now, as of right now, I'm always worried that I'm going to lose my account, okay? I know that it can happen. I know that my account can get banned. I know that it can get suspended. And so, because of that, I'm always worried that it might happen, okay? And currently, I have a merch by Amazon account that is doing well, and I'm really happy about it. But at the end of the day, I know that this account that I have, that is currently my main source of revenue, I know that it is possible that I can lose it at any moment. Okay. And so basically, Amazon merch, even though I'm making money right now on Amazon merch, I know that it can disappear at any moment, okay? Without any real reason, they can suspend my account. And that's basically true for any store on any print on demand marketplace that you have, okay? If you have an account on Redbubble, they can close it at any time without any reason. And if you have an account on TeePublic, they can close your account at any moment without any reason. Okay, I'm talking about this with experience. It happened to me, and so since it happened, I'm always worried about this, and that's why I'm thinking about creating my own website, because having your own website allows you to create a brand and on the long term. Okay, and that's why I think that any print on demand seller should think about this. Okay, and so I hope that this video was helpful to you, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, peace.